Why, hello, everyone. Hello, hello, hello. What is up, guys? If you don't know this voice by now, then why are you watching this YouTube video? Or are you listening to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcasts, and Podbean.com or their official app? What is up, guys? It is James, aka Jimmy Pancakes 20, back here to do a new video slash podcast for you. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about multiple things. This is going to be an update video on everything that you guys wanted to know. The first thing I'm going to talk about, which is the major thing, is why I was off YouTube for almost a month. The last time I did a video was a month ago. So I'm going to be answering that question, why I was off YouTube for a month. Second thing that we're going to talk about is another big one is why my co-host Marcia, my mother, and I are not attending Midsummer Scream this year. Number three, I'm going to talk about the videos that are coming out this month in August. What videos can you expect? Then I'm also going to talk about future videos that are coming out, like the history. The what's going on with the other videos that I do, like the history videos, the food reviews, the movie reviews, and other videos that I do as well. And then at the very end, I'm going to talk about what Halloween events my co-hosts, my mom, Marcia, and I will be attending this year. We have two that we are for sure going to, and then I'm going to talk about two possible ones that we may be attending. And then there's some other ones that are still in the work that I'm not going to mention in this video, but if we do plan on going to them, I'll talk about in a future video or on my social media sites. So that is the agenda for this update video, and I recommend people to listen to the entire podcast and watch this entire video if you want to get everything that I did mention, the agenda for this video, because it's going to be a lot of information, and I don't know how long this video is going to be, or this podcast is going to be. Alright, so let's do agenda number one. Why I was off YouTube for almost a month. So if you guys follow me on my social media, which I recommend anyone that's new listening to my podcast or watching me on YouTube, please follow me on any of my social media sites so you guys can get the latest updates on what I'm doing and when videos are coming out, and also when I'm going to Halloween events and other events that are after the Halloween season. Halloween season is from September to November, and then I also go to other events during non-Halloween seasons. So, if you guys have followed me on social media, you guys know that I was dealing with a lot of personal problems that I cannot discuss in this video because I don't want to, and I want to keep it private. My co-host Marsha knows a lot of the stuff, of the private stuff, and it involved a lot of different parties, which I'm not going to mention, but it took a long time, and I will say that that has been taken care of. Also, if you guys have followed me on social media, you guys know I know that I was sick. A lot of people don't know how sick I was. Originally, I had some food poisoning, and then I sometimes, not very often, but sometimes I get these bad migraines, and those sometimes can affect me watching TV, doing stuff on my laptop. So I was I was having food poisoning, migraines, and stuff like that. So I was sick for like a week and a half, you know, dealing with that and also dealing with the personal stuff. So I had to step away from YouTube to not only deal with my sickness, but also deal with my personal stuff. So I can finally say that all my personal stuff has been taken care of, and all of my sickness is done. So I'm gonna be back on focusing on YouTube videos and podcasts for you guys. So now let's talk about agenda number two. Why my co-host Marsha Phillips and I are not going to Midsummer Scream. Plain and simple, a lot of the personal stuff also affected if my co-host Marsha Phillips and I were going to be able to go to Midsummer Scream this year, and it did affect. So I did talk to my mom Marsha about this, and there was a small possibility that we could have made it to Midsummer Scream, but due to the personal stuff for both myself and her, we decided collaboratively that Midsummer Scream was not going to work for us this year. And so that's the reason why we're not going, is because of both the personal stuff that me and her were dealing with, and also because of my sickness and stuff like that. A lot of things happened that were out of our control, and if those things did not happen, we would have be able to go to Midsummer Scream this year, but due to things that were out of our control, we unfortunately cannot make it to Midsummer Scream this year. So, if Midsummer Scream does come back next year in 2026, we will be attending it because we already have a game plan of what hotel we're going to stay at and stuff like that for next year. So it all depends if Midsummer Scream's coming back. You guys know that I've gone to Midsummer Scream a couple of years. I went in like 2018, 19, then COVID happened, and then they did smaller events in Pasadena, which I didn't go to, in 21, and then 22 was when they returned to the convention center, which I don't think I went to that one. I don't really remember. We may have went in 2022, maybe. We didn't go in 2023 because I was working at Universal at the time, and I could not get the days off for that. And then we went in 2024, and then this year in 2025, what I just said, the reasoning we're not going this year. So, Midsummer Scream has been going good. It started back in 2016, so it's been a couple of years. So, hopefully, they will continue it next year. But it all depends on the creative team that created it. Hopefully, they will still do it, but we'll see what happens. So, if this is the final year for Midsummer Scream, thank you for all the years that you are doing it. But if you are returning next year, my co-host Marcia and myself will be back next year in 2026. So that's what's happening with Midsummer Scream this year. And if it is returning next year, we will be going to it next year in 2026. Now let's talk about the YouTube videos that are coming out this month in August. As you guys know, before I had to deal with those personal problems, and um, and and getting sick, I was working on the Not Scary Forum 2024 review videos because I realized going back to my videos history, I never did the 2024 reviews. I only did it for Hollywood. And the Halloween season is coming up. So I'm going to be going back to working on those videos. I was maybe about halfway done with them. Um, but I'm going to have to re record those videos because the audio wasn't really good. I'm going to rewatch some of the Not Scary for Mazes to get a little bit better notes. So those videos will be coming out before the end of August. So guaranteed by the end of August, those videos will be out before the Halloween season begins this year in 2025. So those review videos are coming out, and depending, I might be joined by my co-host Marsha, or I may not. It just depends. Also, um, this week coming up, so up until Saturday, because I consider that a full week. One of these days this week, I'm not sure what day, I'm going to be doing two separate videos. I'm going to be doing a new speculation map video where it talks about the updated map of the newest mazes that were announced for Hollywood. And also there's some new updates about the scare zones, which I really want to talk about. And there's some updates about the shows as well. Rumors that I've heard. So I may do another speculation map from Mr. HHN Nightmare. Okay? But that video is going to be the second one coming out because it's going to tie into the mazes that were already announced. So the first video that's going to be coming out this week before I do the speculation map is there were 4 mazes that were announced during the time that I was out with the personal stuff as well as being sick. 4 mazes were announced. Terrifier was announced. Five Nights at Freddy's was announced. Scarecrow The Reaping, or Scarecrow Music by Slash. They're not calling it The Reaping this year. It's Scarecrow Music by Slash. And also the same day they announced Scarecrow, they also announced WWE Wyatt 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a full announcement video talking about my feelings for those 4 mazes. So those 4 mazes will be in one update or in one announcement video. I'm going to call it the 4 maze announcements. Something like that. I'm thinking about the title where I'm going to talk about the 4 recent ones that were announced for Hollywood. That's going to be the first video coming out this week. The second video that's going to be coming out this week is the net speculation map where there's only 2 more things that need to be announced, which we're going to talk about in that speculation map video, as well as there's a new update of the scare zones, as well as the shows. So I'm going to talk about those in the speculation videos. So 2 videos coming out this week after this update video. The 4 mazes that were announced, where I'm going to talk about all of those in one video. And then I'm going to talk about, and then I'm going to do a separate video about the speculation map. So those 2 videos are coming out this week. So we already talked about the Horror Night, or the Not Scary Farm review videos that are going to be coming out sometime before the end of August. This week is going to be the 2 videos, which is going to be the announcement videos for the four mazes that were announced during the time I was off YouTube and podcasting. And then I'm going to do a separate video talking about the new speculation map by Mr. HHN Nightmare. Let's talk about other videos that are coming out in this month in August. As you guys know, John Murdy is going to be at Midsummer Scream, and they're also doing. Also, he's going to have Mike Aiello from Orlando there as well. So we know probably Orlando's going to talk about some of the stuff they're doing there in Orlando because all their mazes were announced, and probably we're going to get maybe the final maze announcement or maybe the Terror Tram because those are the last two things that need to be announced besides the scare zones and the two shows. So whatever he announces at Midsummer Scream, as soon as a video is up of that panel, I'm going to watch that video and then I'm going to do the other announcement video, whatever was announced at Midsummer Scream. So that will be coming out a couple of days after Midsummer Scream because it takes time for the videos to go up on YouTube unless I can find a video that's live during the HHN panel and then I'll do it right after that. So it's either going to be a couple of days after Midsummer Scream or if I can find a video live to watch it on YouTube live, then I might do that. So I'll let you know about that video, after, during Midsummer Scream week. So, that video is coming out as well. And then, the final video will also be coming out, well, of the Halloween Horror Nights videos, I should say. Of the horror event videos, is also this month in August. It's a couple days after Midsummer Scream, where Not Scary Farm does their Not Scary Farm Nightmare Revealed, where they reveal all the mazes, all the scare zones, all the shows, everything that's going to be there. And we know for sure this year we're going to have two brand new mazes. We're going to have a new maze located where Waxworks was all those years ago. And we're going to have a new maze located where Bloodline 1842 was. But also that is where Paranormal Inc. was for many, many, many years. So those are going to be the two new maze locations with two new mazes this year. And if you guys saw my Not Scary Farm blog videos, you know that last year at the end of the night, my co-host Marsha, my mom Marsha, we went through the two new mazes last year. Widows, and if you guys don't know me, I don't like spiders. And we went through 8 Fingers 9. So we did the two new mazes that were announced last year. So definitely this year we're going to be doing the two new mazes where Waxworks used to be and where Bloodline 1842 was. So, and then there might be some other videos coming out also in August too, which we're going to talk about in just a bit. So now, let's talk about the other videos. I will be continuing doing the history videos, because a lot of people love hearing about the history of all the events I've gone to. So, the next history video will be my Halloween Horror Nights 2011. Because the way that I'm doing them is I'm starting from 2008 was the very first year I went to Halloween Horror Nights. And I've never missed a year since. Even when I was working at Universal, I went one night off. So I I never missed a year of Horror Nights. So I may be doing all those up to, you know, I whenever I did my first review when I started this channel. So I'm gonna do all the history videos up to a certain point for Halloween Horror Nights Hollywood. Also, when I get to 2012, that was the first year I went to Not Scary Farm, and I'm gonna tell the story of who got me into this Not Scary Farm, and I've gone to Not Scary Farm ever since. The only time I missed Not Scary Farm was 2 years. It was during COVID and 2023. Those are the only 2 years I missed Not Scary Farm. Also in 2012 was my first year going to Queen Mary Dark Harbor. And then I went in 2019 before COVID hit. So I went to Queen Mary twice. I also went to Halloween Horror Nights Orlando twice, which I'm going to do those history videos as well. My first year was in 2013, and my second year was in 2015 when it was the 25th anniversary where they brought back Jack the Clown. So that's going to be an interesting history videos too. So all those history videos are going to be coming. Probably it's going to take a year or two to get all of them out on YouTube because it takes a long time because I got to do the notes. As you guys know, it takes a long time to do those videos. But those videos will be coming out slowly. So, sorry. Also, my food reviews. I have a couple of new places, some ideas that people have sent to me, which I'm going to be doing. So the food videos will be returning as well. My movie reviews, those are going to be returning as well. So those videos are going to be coming out, and I want to make sure that I'm not missing one. Give me one moment, guys. I want to give you the accurate information. Yeah, so the movie reviews are going to continue. The food reviews are going to be continuing. Um, and then the history videos will also be returning as well. So yeah. So those videos are going to be returning, as well as the updates for Knots and Halloween Horror Nights and stuff like that. So there's going to be a ton of videos coming after Halloween season ends. Those history videos, the food reviews, stuff like that. Those are going to continue off season, and then also the videos coming in season as well. So a ton of content that's going to be coming out through the years. So those videos are going to continue. So, so then let's talk about the final agenda. Let's talk about what Halloween events that myself and my co-host, my mom Marsha, are going to be going to. Well, of course, we're going to be there on opening night of Halloween Horror Nights. We're going to be vlogging opening night. We're going to be doing videos of opening night, so those videos will be coming out like the next day, because it takes time for me to edit all the videos together. So we're going to be there on opening night. We're going to try to go through as many mazes as we can, because we're not sure what ticket we're going to buy on opening night. Then we're planning to go sometime in the middle of October, and then we're also going to be going closing night. So we're going to go 3 times this year, Because if you guys know, last year in 2024, it was one of the hottest days in California. And a lot of people left Halloween Horror Nights because it was so freaking hot. So we only got to go through 3 mazes, and we did one show, and we never went back after that. We wanted to, but we never did. And after that night, I felt worse the next day. I was so dehydrated. I was so freaking hot. It took me a couple of days to get that vlog video out for you guys, because it was one of the worst opening nights in history for Halloween Horror Nights that I have ever experienced. Also, the worst that my mom, my co-host, ever experienced as well. So we're planning to go to Halloween Horror Nights at least 3 times. If we can't go 3 times, at least 2, the opening night and closing night, but we're going to try to go for a third. Then we're also going to be going to Not Scary Farm. We go there only one time, and last year we just did the general mission and we got through 6 of the mazes. Because we went on a Wednesday and it wasn't as crowded, so we got through more mazes. It depends on the year, the day that we go to Not Scary Farm. But whatever day we go to Not Scary Farm, we're gonna buy their Fright Lane. So basically, Fright Lane is their version of Front of the Line. So we're gonna do the Front of the Line this year because we want to get through all the mazes this year, because we know some of these mazes are gonna be its final year. And I think I know which ones are going to be the final year, but we're gonna have to wait for the Not Scary Farm reveal. But I think I know which 2 might be going out this year. But that's why we want to be able to go through all the mazes this year. So that's why we're gonna do the front of the line, and we might do the buffet as well, where you get in early so we can see the opening ceremony. So we'll see about that. All right, so those are the 2 that we're definitely going to. Now, I have talked to my co-host Marcia about this, and we are maybe planning on doing one night the LA Haunted Hayride. We have never done the LA Haunted Hayride before. It's in Griffith Park, so it's very close to where we both live. So we actually might do that this year. We also were talking about maybe doing Queen Mary again this year, because we know that Queen Mary made its return last year in 2024, after almost a 4-year hiatus. So we might do Queen Mary again, but we're not sure. So those are the maybe categories. And then there's some other ones that we are talking about maybe doing, but we're not going to talk about those yet because it's not a guarantee. So for sure, we're going to Halloween Horror Nights. For sure, we're going to Not Scary Farm. Maybe Ellie Hunt Hayride. Maybe Queen Mary Dark Harbor. And there's some other ones that we're not even going to discuss right now that may or may not happen. But eventually, we might go to those in the future. We'll just have to see what happens. So, I basically have covered everything that I wanted to talk about in this video. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully, I have answered all of your guys' questions. And hopefully, you guys understood that I had to step away from YouTube. But I am back now. So I will see you guys this week for the four mazes that were announced. That's going to be one giant video, and the second one this week is going to be the new speculation map. So if you guys want to follow me on any of my social media sites, the best way to do it is to follow. Sorry, the best way to get information about what videos are coming, or if I'm going to an event, or if I'm gonna be filming that event, or stuff like that. I have some things that I'm planning to do off Halloween season, but right now we're in the Halloween season. But after like no after the first week of November, all the Halloween seasons or all the Halloween events are over, and there's some events that I'm planning to do um, in November and December, which we'll talk about in a future video. But if you guys want to get the updates of everything that I'm doing, I recommend you guys follow me on any of my social media sites. That's where you're going to get the latest updates. You guys can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, or X, that's used to be known as Twitter, um, Instagram, and TikTok. Also, for anyone that just follows me on YouTube, um, you can you can also see my posts because I post on the post tab of my YouTube page, and that's where you get information as well. So, guys, I hope this update video was helpful. Hopefully, you guys I answered all of your guys' questions. If you guys have any other questions, either comment down below or you can message me on any of my social media sites. I was your host, James, aka Jimmy Pancakes, signing off. Have a good rest of your day, night, evening, or afternoon whenever you're watching this video on YouTube, or listening to my podcast on any of my podcast form. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you guys later this week for those two videos that I mentioned. And I'll catch you guys later.